Greetings, everybody, from picturesque Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It is the USL Championship tonight, presented by College Bound Sabre in the East, as Rhode Island FC welcomes Loudoun United. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us as we dive into the Eastern Conference standings in the USL Championship. Loudoun continuing to try to push for a home playoff game at the top at the moment, sitting in third place, but it's getting very tight between 3 and 7 at the moment. Rhode Island clinging, and I mean clinging, to that final playoff spot in the number 8 spot at the moment. We'll see if they can improve their place here tonight. Coming off the back, Marion, of a big victory over Detroit, thanks to Maxi Rodriguez.
A much-needed 3 points, no doubt about that. And the making of this goal is really Rhode Island at its best. Clay Holstad, those wing backs getting forward and putting service into the area. They end up catching a handball here, and Maxi Rodriguez, subbed on moments before this, buries it in the back of the net, ice cold in his veins. And one thing about Maxi, Sean, that you and I have talked about, technically sound, no doubt about that, positionally aware, we know that, but really it's his vision for seams and getting his teammates involved. But what we haven't seen is this desire to go forward from the cast around him. These 2 goals show that. When Rhode Island is at their best, they go quickly, they have this power offense, and oftentimes it's Maxi Rodriguez and Noah Fuson both involved.
On the other side of the coin for Loudoun United, it's been a tale of 2 seasons. They were red hot at the beginning of the campaign through 9 games. The last 9 has been a completely different story.
Couldn't agree more. And really, as we see the margins to win games get smaller as the season goes on, the mistakes in the back for Loudoun have just gotten more egregious by the game. They've got to clean up that structure and a little bit of that mentality that they had earlier in this season. A lot of that mentality, Sean, was actually on the heels of their attack. They were flying forward, so confident in what Abdelatif Abukora brought, not only his 1v1 skills, but his ability to make magic happen. And as he's taken some games off from injury, we've seen that slack, and the defense has taken a hit.
Now, there are no days off, particularly at this point in the season in the USL Championship. Points are at a premium, and we have 2 teams here right at the heart of the playoff chase in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Rhode Island and Loudoun going head-to-head in Pawtucket tonight, and the kickoff is next.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute.
With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us tonight. A big one in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship as Rhode Island plays Loudoun United. Let's dive into the Ballybeck Casino starting 11s for both teams. We begin with Cano Smith and Rhode Island.
I love this 3-4-3 formation, and sometimes it's going to look like a 5-back with Sanchez and Shapiro Thompson dropping back to complete the back line. But what they do best is create overloads in the wide areas by way of Noah Fuson and Maxi Rodriguez. When they can create those triangles and get the ball service into JJ Williams, they are at their best.
Huge game tonight for Ryan Martin's Loudoun United. They haven't won in 8 in all competitions.
And what I like to see is the combination between Velo and Ryan up top. Those two are going to be key in not only allowing for isolation moments for Abukura, but also with bringing McCabe and Skundrich up with them. Skundrich is really going to have to be the commander in the midfield.
Well, tonight's first half is presented by First Class Marble and Granite. Two teams in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship that need the points very, very badly. Of course, for two very different reasons. Loudoun trying to end a spell where they haven't won in their last 6 league games, their last 8 in all competitions. And they're trying to hold on to a top 4 spot at the moment as well. Rhode Island clinging to the last spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs, but there are many teams behind them that are not far away. Loudoun will kick us off. They're going from left to right in their red kits from head to toe. Rhode Island in their home blues, and the ball slips underneath Hugo Farou's boot here in the early seconds. J.J. Williams on the prowl. And inside of 10 seconds here, Williams lays the ball off here, and an early shot is just wide of the target. And it takes a deflection out for a corner. Matthew Corcoran, who debuted recently for Rhode Island against Detroit, nearly got his first goal.
And his addition is a very welcome one. He is a player that understands spacing and can really connect the lines. But what I love about this is the recognition from J.J. Williams. Hey, we've got to go. And the recognition from the players underneath him. This is the time to step up. A wonderful prep touch, and he nearly bends it into that side netting. Poor start here from Ryan Martin's Loudoun.
Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner will be taken by Mark Ibarra. And the service is going to be flicked away initially by Velo. Sent back into the area by Noah Fuson. And eventually, Loudoun trying to get it forward. Pinballing around here in the middle of the Loudoun half. Eventually, it is cleared over the halfway line. Definitely not the best start from a Loudoun United point of view. Oh, they're off to the races here all of a sudden. The ball bent in behind, and Coque Vegas is there to collect. Let's take a look at keys for RIFC success against Loudoun. It's presented by Ford.
And it's pretty simple. You and I could talk a lot about tactics, but really the theme for Rhode Island over the last month, including when we went up there for the CBS game against Hartford, the key phrase was chance creation, and that's going to continue to be what Rhode Island needs to do to see a little bit more improvement. They have such a tendency, Sean, to go backward, right? And there is something to be said for the 2024 Rhode Island, who was really this power offense. They would go and they would power you, they would beat you up a little bit, and then in 2025 they wanted to play a little bit prettier, right? That's been the theme, is how can we not only have that high-powered offense, but how can we also have our possession numbers get a little bit higher? And really the thought of the possession numbers, I think, has taken away from some of those high-powered attacking moments. But the 2 goals that we saw in the open, those are the Rhode Island teams that can really go at you and go at you quickly. And when they're going at tempo, it's hard to stop this much talent.
Rhode Island trying to put more pressure on Hugo Farou in this Loudoun back line in the early moments here. A bit of indecision from Learman, and it nearly leads to a Loudoun giveaway. They do eventually clear this upfield for Zach Ryan. On the turn here, it was Santos. Rhode Island win it back. Fuson trying to slip it through for Rodriguez. Eventually Loudoun do win the ball back through Cole Turner. 3 prior meetings between these two. Rhode Island are actually winless in their young history against Loudoun United. First 2 games in the fixture's history were both 0-0s. And then a brace earlier this season for Abdelatif Abukura against Rhode Island. That was back in late March in a Loudoun 2-0 win. Times were a bit better for Loudoun back then. That goes out of play. It's a Rhode Island throw on this near side. Health report tonight is presented by the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Learn more at orthopedicsri.com. Long-term injury, of course, for Jacob Erlandson on the Loudoun side of things. Grant Stoneman still out. No Frank Nodarse either. So the defensive unit will be a little bit short on depth for Cano Smith's men tonight. Below lays that off for Pedro Santos, who regains possession here. Of course, Loudoun are also coming off a heartbreaker of a loss last time out in the league to Tulsa, who have been frankly breaking everybody's hearts at the death at the moment. Luke Spencer's side just continuing to pick up steam out west. This is Tommy McCabe. Going through the lines there for Drew Skundrich. McCabe switches it over to this near side. Santos tried to switch it to the far side. Rhode Island have it covered. Yao for Mabika and Rodriguez. Ibarra. Rhode Island forced to go back again. Koke Vegas, who's used to playing well off his line throughout his career. Inviting a little bit of pressure here by keeping it at the back. This is Vegas, who has to hurry, gets it away for Abukura. Could pressure him further. And then Fuson cannot hang on to it for Rhode Island. Santos, time and space here. Abukura helps it along. Little give and go. Abukura trying to slot it through. Mabika sweeps it up. Rhode Island would like to recognize their anchor partners, Breeze Airways, Capelli Sports, Centerville Bank, and Ortho Rhode Island, for all their support on and off the field this season. Rhode Island won it back for about a split second. They'll settle for a throw-in on the far side. A referee who is in light green is Natalie Simon, making the decision there. Of course, Rhode Island trying to make it back-to-back wins after the clutch Maxi Rodriguez penalty conversion against his former club, Detroit City, last time out.
Not often that we see someone get subbed on and quite literally first touch of the match from the penalty spot, buries it. I love the muted celebration of it all.
Had a couple of his former teammates chirping at him before he stepped up to take it as well. No troubles at all, though, for Maxi, who's made clutch penalty after clutch penalty this season in a Rhode Island shirt. Pokes down the line. Morian Below has had another excellent season under Ryan Martin. Good control here by Zach Ryan. McCabe. And that feed is cut out by Corcoran.
And that's a perfect example of what Corcoran can bring to this group. Not only is he so good at plugging those dangerous seam balls from a defensive standpoint, but he's also quite good about turning those defensive wins into attacking moments the other way.
Well, Ryan Martin in his usual attire, the cap and blazer combo. You could maybe almost name it the Martin at this point. He's strutting his stuff.
Something.
He's always done a wonderful job with Loudoun, and many feel that this will be the team that finally, for Loudoun, gets them to the playoffs. In very good shape for that, but of course, they'd love to make it a home playoff game. That's a little bit more jeopardy, especially considering the fact that, again, like we mentioned earlier, 6 league games in a row without a win for Loudoun, and 8, if you count all competitions, haven't won since June 14th. When they beat Detroit City by 3-2. That was almost 2 months ago. Rhode Island is proud to welcome MyRI TV as an official broadcast partner for For this season, RIFC fans can now watch live action regionally on Nessun, locally on MyRI, and stream on ESPN+. So make sure you don't miss any of the action throughout the season. A chance here for Loudoun up the other end. Thread it through for Velo, whose back heel is going to be picked up by Koke Vegas off his line. New England laborers are training the workforce of today that'll build our tomorrow. State-of-the-art training facilities, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Be equipped with classroom and job site knowledge. Start a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build your future with the union that built the stadium at Tidewater, home of RIFC, as that bounces out for a goal kick after some Loudoun pressure. Of course, both of these teams trying to make a playoff push while also battling on multiple fronts. Both have big quarterfinals coming up in the USL Jägermeister Cup. Rhode Island will be here on the 20th of August. They'll play Birmingham Legion, who've already made a trek to Pawtucket this season under the head coaching tutelage of Mark Briggs. And Loudoun, who were able to top a group that had Lou City in it. That's pretty difficult to do in their Jaeger Cup campaign. They'll have a chance to make quite the run as well. Oh, was this a foul throw here on the near side? Keegan Tingy, did he drop the ball or did he release it while it was above his head? The referee allows him to take it a second time here. And then Sanchez is fouled. That's a free kick.
There have been many points with Loudoun this season where you look and to your point, Sean, you say this is the team, right? This is the playoff team as we take a look back at Tingy, and just seems like it slipped out of his hand. But the interesting thing about Loudoun, and it's not to knock anything that Ryan Martin has done, because taking them from where they were in 2024, 2023 to where they're at now is a huge feat in and of itself. But as we look to some of their wins, right, if we had to put their resume in front of a committee, you would say that their two best wins are Pittsburgh, and that was a time when Pittsburgh was very much struggling this year, and North Carolina, which is a quality win. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to continue beating the teams they're supposed to, and then some, to hang on to what I believe is a really tough schedule for them down the stretch. And so while there is a lot of rightful hype around Loudoun, you also kind of have to pull that back into the scope of the rest of the league and realize that the wins, while good, while aplenty, they're not some of the top teams in this league. And there's something to be said for that.
Well, to your point, Marion, they're going to be tested in multiple fronts. They have Sac Republic at home in the Jaeger Cup, and in the league, it doesn't get easier. That was an overhead kick attempt here. Tingy onto his left, has it deflected. Another overhead kick attempt, and this time Karifa Yao is fouled, and that'll be a free kick.
I like this idea, though, right? Isolation onto the flank, have numbers into the box, and that delayed run from Tingy. So good at it, so dangerous with the ball at his feet. And Loudoun, what we're getting at really is the strength of their wins, right? Looking at the strength of their wins as it stands up to the rest of the league. But I will say it again, what Ryan Martin has done and getting this team to go in the exact same direction for the first time in a handful of years speaks volumes.
So many ebbs and flows in Ryan Martin's coaching career, just at Loudoun alone. And the fact that he's able to persevere and get them to this point at all, frankly, is quite the accomplishment. It will certainly be a proud day regardless of where they're seated when Loudoun, and if Loudoun does clinch a playoff spot this season. It really will be a milestone moment, not just for Ryan Martin, but for the entire team and organization. a little bit of miscommunication here from Rhode Island. Skundrich has it cut out by the teenager Corcoran. Of course, is on loan from Nashville. MLS actually did spend some time at Birmingham Legion when Conno Smith was there as an assistant coach under Tom Sohn. They already have quite a good relationship between those two. As Corcoran picks it up here.
His movement patterns, his technique on the ball is something that this Rhode Island team desperately needs, because not only can he play in that double pivot, but he's got the ability to be a box-to-box midfielder and link up play between the defensive third and the forward third. The question for him and the rest of this Rhode Island is exactly what we hit on at the onset of this match. Can you start to be more forward-facing?
J.J. Williams is in behind here. Farouk parries it to on.
It's time for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner.
Well, this is really well done. It actually all does start from the midfield and creating space on the flanks. And then it's an early ball in behind the back line and a commitment for the players behind the play to try and get to the second phase. Maxi Rodriguez just trying to find a window, does get a deflection. And will we finally see the Chick-fil-A sandwich be given to these rightful fans?
Another chance at it. Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. It still hasn't happened this season. A home goal from a corner. And if that does happen, if Rhode Island do score a home goal from a corner, you can go to your Chick-fil-A Attleboro location and get a free chicken sandwich, hopefully. Ibarra steps up here. In decent shape on it. It was in the path of Bacharach. It didn't get there. Clipped back in by Noah Fuson, and the header from Williams is right down the heart of the goal. And the offside flag was up anyway. It wouldn't have counted. Fuson's hustle to get back there and get a header onto it is very nice, and it goes out for a Loudoun throw after another good sequence here.
Second phase of play. That's twice now that we've seen it from Rhode Island be quite dangerous. Lovely clipped ball in from Fuson, and the technique from the header of J.J. Williams was pristine, just in an offside position, but they go again.
Corcoran to Williams off the takeaway. J.J. Williams off the crossbar.
I love it.
And it's a goal kick. Well, Farouk was certainly interested.
I love this angle, and we'll never know if this was meant or if it was supposed to be a service. But I love the idea that the goalkeeper was cheating to that near post run you saw Maxi Rodriguez make. Why not try and see if you can sneak it in behind him? J.J. Williams is a player that Conno Smith and his staff have been wanting to get back from injury, right? They've been nursing that from a time perspective. And he does make an incredible difference on the field. I think the first time that I actually witnessed just how big of a difference he made was in that Hartford game at Rhode Island. It was July 19th. It was the one on CBS. J.J. Williams comes into the second half, and it was night and day difference with the confidence he brings this team.
Rodriguez. And Rhode Island forced to go all the way back to Karifa Yao for a reset. Getting to the game is easy with RIPTA's free game day bus service. Buses loop every 8 to 10 minutes between Pawtucket Central Falls Transit Center, Centerville Bank Stadium, and the stadium's reserved parking lots. For a full list of stops, go to ripta.com/RIFC. Loudoun's turn to apply some pressure here on Rhode Island. Eventually the hosts are able to simmer it down. All over the top here for Fuson, who will not get there. Well defended by Yanis Learman, and it's a goal kick. If you're looking for help on how to pay for college, look no further than RISLA. They've been helping students and families for decades. Visit risla.com to find out more today. By the way, you mentioned J.J. Williams' impact. Since he's become a Rhode Island player, Rhode Island are undefeated in games that J.J. Williams has either scored in or assisted in.
Just a small burden to carry. I think the interesting piece about what Rhode Island wants to do is that the thought was to find a way to get he and Albert Dequa onto the pitch at the same time. And that's really been the relationship that we've yet see come to fruition. I'd argue the same could be said right in the midfield, and we've talked a lot about Noah Fuson and Maxi Rodriguez and the fact that they do have similar movement patterns, but if they could ever figure it out, there is absolute gold to be had there. But that's the piece, right? The roster is in place. The roster is talented. It has enough talent to go quite far in this league. It's just about finding a way to mesh all the pieces together and get this team going in a way that's not only distinct from an individual perspective, but aligns with the overall goal of the team.
Williams, back from Fuson. The attack will fizzle out there. McCabe touching it clear. And he's run down here by Sanchez. Corcoran gets it back from Mabika. They link up once more, and then it's going to be a full reset back to Yao. One stat that Rhode Island would like to see end tonight: they've played Loudoun 3 times and have never scored against Loudoun.
One piece that's going to be key, you're seeing it occur on your screen right now, is there are moments when Loudoun is obviously committing to the press. And with that, they've got Rhode Island technically skilled enough players to break that press. That's when you're at a numbers advantage situation going forward. Can you use their press against them, just like this?
It's going to fall here towards Sanchez. Swept out for a Rhode Island throw-in from this near side. That was nearly a wonderful switch of play. And Sanchez does have a couple of league assists this season. Will get the ball back into play. Rodriguez and Fuson. Sanchez keeps it going for Corcoran. Rodriguez, Sanchez. More Rhode Island pressure here. Loudoun still trying to get this clear. Tingy eventually shovels it ahead. And Mabika going tight on Zach Ryan. Ryan again. He's fouled by Corcoran, free kick. Well, Mighty Squirrel is thrilled to support Rhode Island FC. Visit tap room and brewery locations in Waltham, Boston, right next to Fenway Park, and coming soon to Arsenal Yards in Watertown. Raise a glass of Cloud Candy and cheers to the soccer team and many mighty moments ahead. It's going to be a Loudoun throw, passed off of Rhode Island here. Tingy. This is Santos. Lovely reverse ball to Tingy. Tingy's ball takes a deflection. Oh, it was nearly on target. Looking for Zach Ryan, who ends up touching it out of play for a goal kick at a tight angle.
Lovely spell of sequencing here from Loudoun United. They create a favorable overload in the wide channels, and then it was a great run into the near post. Just a little bit too far. Delivery didn't get deep enough to actually hit that one on target. Felt like Koke Vegas had it covered all the way, though. But these are the moments, Sean, right? We talk about when Loudoun wants to go press. Where can you find the opening? J.J. Williams going to have to be strong in those moments. Well done.
Well, J.J. Williams doesn't lose many physical tussles. Learman maybe gets the better of him, but at the expense of the foul there. Here's Karifa Yao. Out wide to Amos Shapiro-Thompson. Back for Yao. All the way back for Vegas. That time Williams is all over that. Puts it down for Sanchez. Rhode Island off to the races here. Ooh, but the ball's behind J.J. Williams, and well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Offside is the decision, and Williams wanted that ball a touch earlier. Well, I won't say the full line of what he said there, but he said, "Get me the ball."
Well, and he's right, because at this moment you've got a back line retreating, and if you can play that a touch earlier, not only is his run going to remain onside, but he's also going to have a chance to take that diagonal touch towards the near post, right? That's something that strikers are always looking to do. How can I eliminate a back line? And oftentimes it's that diagonal touch that forces the defender to either foul you or let you go that can really work in your favor in terms of numbers.
Goes back to how fine the margins there are as well. You wait a split second, and the attacking chance is gone. More Rhode Island pressure here. Skundridge back for Faru. Out of the area on the far side. And eventually Loudoun just hoof it over the top. Just past Kwame Awua on that far side. Touched out for a Loudoun throw. Here's Abukura, quickly dispossessed by Rodriguez. Vegas takes out his pitching wedge and clips it towards the halfway line. Touched all the way back to Hugo Faru, who is second in the league coming into this weekend with 52 saves in the USL Championship. RIFC fans, grab yourself an ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar for the match. Zero, never tasted so good. Try it to believe it. Pepsi Zero Sugar is a proud sponsor of RIFC. Probably best to do that, Reed, when there's zeros on the scoreboard as well.
Makes sense.
I would say, yeah, just lines up really clean.
I like that. I'm also a big fan of a Pepsi Zero.
Seconded, yeah. Learman for Tingy. It's like anytime Loudoun can bring this forward, they look dangerous here in this first half. Although they've been limited, the amount of opportunities they've had. And here's Tingy down this near side, trying to cut it back for Abukura. It was cut out. Follow up by Santos, and he commits a foul here on Sanchez. Free kick is going to go the other way.
Although Loudoun doesn't get this call in their favor, as it feels like he got to the ball with his knee. Good angle. Yep, that's a hard foul the other way. Well sold by Sanchez, no doubt about that. And although that call goes against Loudoun, one of the pieces that have been so fruitful for them in these opening 30 minutes is when they pull numbers into that right channel. Sanchez is getting caught a little bit higher, right? And so what it's doing is it's forcing Krikorian to actually have to shift over. And when he shifts over, if Loudoun can be a bit quicker in the decision to slot that ball back centrally from the space he just left, I think that they'll find a lot of chances in and around the top of the 18-yard box.
Offside flag was up on that near side. So again, it will be, well, initially it was going to be a free kick, but now it's going to be Loudoun's ball on this near side, just in front of Ryan Martin. Velo. This is McCabe. It's played all the way back here for Cole Turner, who controls and surveys the scene. McCabe for Velo. Nice ball down the line for Santos. Santos' service into the middle. Kwame Awua's header. Ibarra away for Rhode Island. Not the best feed there. Tingy wins it back for the visitors. McCabe. Little layoff for Abukura, but Ibarra. He's there for Rhode Island defensively. The long ball over the top here for Williams. It falls kindly for him. J.J. Williams has his shot blocked. And it goes out for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner as Loudoun do just about enough.
You couldn't ask for more from your striker. In this moment, it felt like Loudoun's pressure was just mounting on back line. Gets a strike on goal. They'll take getting a corner out of that situation any day of the week.
Credit to Learman as well for getting back just in time to get a block on that. Again, Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. Rhode Island trying to break the deadlock here. Ibarra again will provide the service. And it comes, it's Mabika. But it's off target.
Well, there's no doubt that Rhode Island has some quality targets in terms of aerial threats for these dead ball situations. Mabika gets separated, doesn't have a look over his shoulder though to see where he actually is in the frame of goal. That one's got to be snapped back a little bit more towards the back post.
Below trying to link up there with Santos. Ryan comes back into the picture and Mabika had won it. Gives it away to Tingy. Back and forth we go here. Fuson picks off the pass. Corcoran surveys the scene. Corcoran directing traffic here. A bit of pressure here on Mabika. Back for Vegas. Again, aiming for J.J. Williams, but this time Loudoun do win the ball back, and they'll send it back to Faru. Not a ton of goals yet in those other games, although this is a takeaway here. Rhode Island on the front foot. Rodriguez for Williams. A little bit far away from goal here. He resets it. Fuson. Oh, tried to slide it through for Shapiro Thompson. Loudoun cut it out. Santos looks to lead the Loudoun break. Zach Ryan up ahead, but he's beaten to it by Ame Mabika. Oh, but then Mabika gives it away on this far side. Velo steps in, and Shapiro Thompson helps out as well. Mabika and just sends it upfield. Lovely little dink from Rodriguez. Nudged forward by Fuson into the Rhode Island transitional move here. Numbers joining into the attack. Sanchez. Ibarra out for a Rhode Island corner.
It's time for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner kick.
Rhode Island is starting to find their rhythm, breaking down this Loudoun press, and they're starting to find that numerical advantage. And Sanchez does well to spot that run of Mark Ibarra on the overlap, and another corner kick opportunity. Dead ball situations could be such a great way to get your team some confidence early on at home.
Ibarra with another Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner here. About 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. From the service, oh, it was nearly a free header for Williams. But he did not get enough on it, and it goes out for a goal kick. Well, gives us time to tell you that proudly outfitting the Rhode Island FC team, Capelli Sport is your global game changer for premium kits, gear, and innovation on and off the field. Another close call for Rhode Island on the attack in this first half. Faroux thinks better about trying to play out, just hoofs it over the top. A little tussle there between Ryan and Yao. Referee tells Ryan to get up. Corcoran back for Vegas. Williams trying to win the header. It falls kindly for Loudoun here. Tingy up ahead. This is Santos. Santos is looking to switch the play here. Does find Kwame Awua, who pirouettes into space here, still being hounded. Cabe steps in. 11 this season for Ryan Martin's bunch. Velo played it square. Again, Santos. Velo on the byline. Shovels it across, and it's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard line. Huge defensive intervention there for Rhode Island. Now J.J. Williams racing up the other end. Can he get there? Not quite. Faroux just there off the Yanis Learman feed. Santos up ahead. And his ball comes up short. Corcoran steps in. Ooh, a little bit too much on it, but Koke Vegas with a lovely touch. And then that's a giveaway behind Ibarra. But Loudoun can't thread the needle with McCabe's pass. Santos is getting more involved for Loudoun as this half moves along. Below, Santos through, Fuson for McCabe. Abukura on the turn. Below, McCabe. Keegan Tingy forced to go back to Santos. And Below forced to go back to Learman. Santos cutting in field. Kwame Awua shoveling it through. It's Abukura. Might have been blocked on the way through. Vegas is able to get there.
Loudoun so good at finding ways to break down some of this compact structure of Rhode Island. This is the first chance moments ago. Hugo Baccarat does so well to get his chest in front of that one. And then this was after a spell of 10 passes right in and around the top of the 18-yard box where they finally found a window.
Shapiro Thompson's ball in, blocked by McCabe up the other end. Ibarra follows up on it. Kwame Awua does well, and then Loudoun try to clear it away. Shapiro Thompson then fouls Zach Ryan. And that's going to be a Loudoun free kick.
And it's going to continue to be that cat and mouse game, if you're Loudoun, finding different solutions to break down this compact Rhode Island defense. Because look, as much as they're not scoring, they're also not conceding that much. This defense is still one of the best defenses in the USL Championship in terms of their ability to keep goals out of the back of the net. And not only that, but I would argue that their defensive distribution has been some of their best attack in recent weeks.
Island have only conceded 20 goals this season. That's tied for the 5th fewest in the league. It's been the calling card, really, for Rhode Island all season. Conno Smith has told that to us time and time again. The issue has really been the fact that Rhode Island have only scored 15 goals this season. Of course, that mark is the 2nd fewest. And maybe even worse than that, Rhode Island have the worst conversion rate in the USL Championship. It's only at 10% coming into this weekend, and that really goes back to your point, Marion. The chances sometimes are there. The finishing touch is what has not been consistently up to snuff.
And that's also unfortunately been the story of this first half. You know, it's been a game of cat and mouse. We've seen Rhode Island sit back some, but we've also seen a pretty fruitful press from them at times. And really, as the half has gone on, we've seen them find a way to solve this Loudoun pressure. We've seen them create different types of chances. It's really been that final action that has lacked. And that is a mirror reflection of the entirety of their season so far.
There's no job too big with Norfolk Power Equipment, New England's premier Kubota dealer. Norfolk Power Equipment's a proud sponsor of RIFC. Come down today, get the job done. Norfolk Power. That is a giveaway by Santos. Owen Bacharach also nearly gives this up to Abukura. Gets a second bite at it here, plays it out to the far side. Noah Fuson continues his run after leaving it. Bacharach back for Kurifa Yao, getting towards the final few minutes of the first half here in Pawtucket. Corcoran. Rodriguez. And again. Rodriguez was trying to direct traffic there, thinks better of it. A reset with Yao. Yao clips it, back to Fuson. Fuson with a head of steam here. Sanchez from Williams, and Sanchez was offside when Williams passed it to him on this near side, and that's where the attack ends for the hosts here. It's going to be a Loudoun free kick, as we tell you to don't miss out any of the wicked good soccer this season at Centerville Bank Stadium. Remember, single game tickets, beg your pardon, for the rest of the season are on sale now. Get your tickets today. Jean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Big game, among many big games tonight, around the USL Championship in the Eastern Conference and frankly in the Western Conference as well. Every team still so much alive going down the stretch here. All the games are pivotal. This game in particular for Rhode Island, trying to get off that number 8 spot and move up the table in the East. Loudoun trying to hang on to one of those top 4 seeds, which of course would give you a home playoff game in the first round of the upcoming playoffs in just a couple months' time. Vegas up ahead. Yao spinning and keeping it going forward for Ibarra. Bacharach. Gliding past Ryan and past Skundrich and past another. It ricochets for Sanchez, who puts it on a plate! Oh! Bacharach couldn't finish it. That was a brilliant run from Hugo Bacharach, and he nearly scores on the back end of it as well.
That's one of the things that I have loved about his addition to this starting 11 for Rhode Island. His willingness to get forward, and not just in terms of his distribution, but he wants to be on the end of services. You'll see him up and around the 18-yard box more than you'll ever see one of the 3 center backs for Rhode Island. The defensive part of the ball for Rhode Island has done more for them on just the defensive end. It's been very heavily in the attack, as we've got a nasty-looking head injury.
Abdelatif Abukura is still down here for Loudoun. Natalie Simon immediately waved on the medical staff here for both teams. Bacharach is down as well. I mean, Cano Smith told us a couple weeks ago that he didn't know really what he had yet in Hugo Bacharach until he started training with the team. So take a look at the last sequence and that nasty head-to-head contact involving Bacharach and Abukura. Once Hugo Bacharach got into training, he immediately impressed Cano Smith and his teammates, of course, as well. So you're seeing him more and more as the season progresses, and that last flash kind of showed you why he's getting more and more playing time. He's back up onto his feet here, as is Abukura. And actually, J.J. Williams was briefly on the ground as well. Everybody's back up onto their feet. We were told that there wasn't going to be any additional time added on, but now it's up to Natalie Simon, of course, from here on out to see when the half will end. Abukura and Bacharach have to begin this next sequence off to the side. Those two exchange a high five, which is good to see. It's a Loudoun free kick from the restart. Headed square, Ryan in the vicinity, Rhode Island will clear it, and that's halftime here in Pawtucket. Certainly chances for both teams as the half materialized, but we're locked in at a stalemate, Marion.
Yeah, promising moments for both sides. The defensive discipline, as we mentioned, for Rhode Island has been quite good. What I'm most pleased with, however, has been their ability to solve pressure as the half has gone on. The story has simply been the lack of execution, and for Loudoun, you have to consider pulling back the frequency of the press. This game got far too stretched from a defensive standpoint, and you need to sit in compact blocks for moments.
Well, the plot thickens going into the second 45 minutes. Rhode Island were a whisker away from breaking the deadlock a couple of times. Loudoun had their fair share of opportunities as well, but it's 0-0 at the half. Plenty coming up from around the league next.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Halftime here in Pawtucket, 0-0 between Rhode Island and Loudoun. Big game here in the USL Championships Eastern Conference. We'll have the second half coming up in just a bit. But first, let's relive all the sights and sounds from the USL League Two final between Vermont Green and Ballard FC.
USL 2 National Championship between Ballard FC and the Vermont Green This is a moment very few of us have ever seen. This is a special moment for soccer and for Rhode. It is going to be a big one. These two teams are loaded with talent. They've both led their conferences, their divisions throughout the year, and a chance for Ballard to make it 2 titles in 3 years, and a chance for Vermont Green to do something no one has done since 2010 and go perfect. And the referee points to the spot. He rolls it off the post and in. And Vermont Green take the lead in the national championship at Virtue Field. There he is, coast to top once again. Ingay recovers it, curls it back in. Marshall puts it on, and Kinslow, the national championship goal scorer in NCAA, puts it in 2025. Vermont is the king of soccer, as the Vermont Green win their first ever USL 2 title. And green is the color of victory once again in Burlington, Vermont.
We want to be the loudest people around. We want you to hear where we are at.
I want to go!
No one thought we would do what we did against Louisville.
We were hot, we were clicking, we were scoring goals.
Even after the whistle blew and they were champions, forget about it. Raise your scarves, we kept playing.
I don't think I've heard a louder scream from a group of people than we did that night.
That's the important thing about this group. They never stop loving their team.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Cedeno gets it back! 1-0 City!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
Pound of wood a day.
What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Rhode Island, are you ready? Rhode Island FC's brand new home, Centreville Bank Stadium, is waiting for you. Don't miss out on any of the action this season, as the Ocean State's very own look to defend their Eastern Conference title. Tickets are available now, starting as low as $16.36 per game. Scan the QR code to secure your seat today.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew here with you at the half between Rhode Island and Loudoun. 0-0 is the scoreline here at Centreville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket. We'll have the second half coming up in just a few moments. But first, these fans are the winners of the Seriously Nice seat upgrade, courtesy of Breeze Airways. Each match, Breeze Airways upgrades lucky fans to a premium matchday experience. Breeze Airways is a proud partner of RIFC. Let's look around the league in the USL Championship with our news and notes, and pretty big headlines coming out of Las Vegas as Devin Rensing has been appointed the new head coach for the Lights.
I think that that's a really good move. You have to look at what they came from, right? They went and got the head coach in the worst team in the league in Antonio Nocerino, and now they've turned it around and plucked an assistant from arguably one of the top dogs, if not the top dog this year in Louisville. And when we're looking at that, you also have to look at what the Tampa Bay Rowdies have done, and under Dom Cacciato, they have extended their undefeated streak, albeit against Indy. They seem to have their number, but I like what I'm seeing early on from Dom Cacciato down there.
And how about Luke Spencer's FC Tulsa as well? They just can't lose, it seems like, at the moment, and Trevor Ammon is going to join their cause as well, coming over from Sac Republic. Scores elsewhere. How about Lexington with a huge 2-0 win over Phoenix? The rest of the way, as far as the other grounds are concerned, no goals, except Orange County have a lead at Highmark, and they're one of the few teams that have had some success there over the years.
Yeah, put that one on your resume, Danny Stone. Not many teams can go in and get a point at all, let alone 3. We'll see if they hang on to that one in the second half. But you know what I need from this? I need more goals, okay? I see a lot of zeros on that scoreboard. I need more goals from our game. I need the league to get some more goals, and I know we've got some big time in our USL After Dark meetings that maybe we'll get them there.
We'll see if your wishes are granted with this slate
later
on tonight. Golazo will be the place to be. Louisville and Charleston with the Players' Shield potentially up for grabs. Hartford at Birmingham is a 6-pointer in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. And again, don't sleep on this game either. New Mexico and Tulsa for the battle in the West.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one, and I'm going to actually add Sacramento Republic and Monterey Bay down there. Sac Republic looks good on all fronts, and Monterey Bay, a team that can go up and down. So depending on the Monterey Bay you get, that could really be one to watch.
Vegas, can they turn it around under Devin Rensing? The champions are at Oakland tonight. Every game matters. It's why we love this league, particularly at this portion of the season. 0-0 here in Pawtucket. We'll have highlights, stats, and the second half kick from Rhode Island after the break.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
0-0 here at the half between Rhode Island and Loudoun. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew. Happy to have you with us tonight in the USL Championship as the push to the playoffs continues. Big game here between two teams that really need the points. And we look back at the first half highlights brought to you by Cox Business. We begin with the hosts on the front foot.
If you don't mind, since you get all the sponsor reads, I'm going to take the highlights, okay? I feel like that's a fair
let it fly.
Split. Well, here's what I like to see. I like to see the effort that J.J. Williams is putting forth because the man has jets and we're starting to see it in the first 45 minutes. But as we talked about, when Corcoran gets pulled out for Rhode Island from that central position, it's very favorable to this Loudoun United squad who has numbers and aerial threats in and around the 18-yard box. That's how this chance came about. If they can continue to exploit that in the second half, I think that they'll have chances galore. But what I love so much about Rhode Island was the way that they grew in and evolved for solving pressure throughout the first 45 minutes. They didn't try to play out every single time, and in fact, J.J. Williams provided them almost every single time with an outlet as a vertical threat. But here we go, back the other way, a great half of cat and mouse, and once again, Corcoran pulled out into more of that no man's land in the wide channels. And what does Loudoun do? They make them pay. They find a numbers advantage. It's a great underlapping run from below. It's a lovely ball slashed back across into the 18-yard box right on top of the 6. But the Rhode Island defense continues to make their stance. And not only do they do it on the defensive end of the ball, but that's one of your 3 center backs in Hugo Bacharach trying to get on the score sheet. That was the best Rhode Island chance of the first 45 minutes.
We'll take a look at the halftime stats. 2 shots on target for Rhode Island, who also outshot Loudoun in the first half. And to go back to what you just said, Marion, about the defensive side of the game, Loudoun did not have a shot on target in the first 45 minutes.
The defensive discipline from Rhode Island was really what stood out to me first and foremost, and because of that and the confidence they have with the defensive side of the ball, I think that they were able to find creative ways to solve pressure, including some of those long balls into J.J. Williams.
We're about to get the second half going. And Rhode Island are actually going to make a halftime change here. Zachary Harivos had some injury issues this season for Rhode Island. He's going to come in here at the start of the second half. And he will replace Hugo Bacharach, who actually had a very good first half.
Very good first 45.
For Rhode Island. Harivos on. And we'll see if he can get right back into the flow of the Rhode Island play at the start of the second half. Again, these are huge games, particularly for Rhode Island here at home, where they've had an up and down season in all competitions here in their new home, Centerville Bank Stadium this season. But they're coming off a huge win over Detroit last time out, trying to back that up with another home win here against the Loudoun side that, yes, they've been struggling. It's been a bit of a swoon over these last 2 months where they just have not been able to pick up 3 points. But Ryan Martin's side still look confident. They still look clear in their ideas. And Rhode Island are in a tight battle here. Both teams needing these points, of course, for very different reasons. Loudoun looking to push further and further towards the top, but also trying to hold on to a home playoff seed. And Rhode Island trying to fend off the likes of Tampa Bay, Birmingham, Hartford, and all the other teams below them in the table, while also trying to catch the likes of Detroit, Indy, and others above them as well. Teams will switch sides at the start of the second half. Rhode Island will be going from left to right. We are at a 0-0 scoreline, Centerville Bank Stadium here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. A lot of close calls for both teams in that first half. We'll see who can potentially go on and break the deadlock. Loudoun have never lost to Rhode Island. In 3 prior meetings, they never conceded a goal against Rhode Island in now 3.5 meetings between the two. We'll see if Rhode Island can put that stat to bed in this second half. And Loudoun, more importantly for them, trying to end an 8-game run in all competitions without a win. And we'll stay with Rhode Island as Sanchez, he's slow to get up. Tingy. Audacious little flick, but Yao slips it through for Rodriguez, who was not on the same page with Fuson. And Abukura recycles the play all the way back for Turner and Faru. And Faru plays a lovely ball here into the path of Zach Ryan. Ryan nearly feathers it through for Abukura, but it's cut out. Corcoran able to settle it down just a bit here for Rhode Island, back to Mabika and company. Under pressure, Corcoran does give it away. This is Drew Skundridge sliding it through for Valo, looking for Abukura, and Harivo is on the scene to get a big intervention on that. For all your RIFC gear, visit Rhode Island FC's online team store powered by Capelli. Shop.rhodeislandfc.com is where you go for that. Of course, Rhode Island just debuted some new kits a couple of weeks back. Might want to take a look at grabbing one or two for yourself, maybe a friend. Kwame Awua is going to leave it for Keegan Tingy. Certainly can get some depth on these long throw-ins.
Time for a Providence College School substitution for your Rhode Island.
Case and point, although Rhode Island flick it away. Volleyed back in by Santos. Cleared away by Karifa Yao. Williams follows up. So does Rodriguez. And then Corcoran couldn't follow up enough for Fuson, but he wins it back here. Ibarra for Rodriguez. And again, Shapiro Thompson on this near side. Here's Harivo picking out Rodriguez and switches it out to the far side. And then Corcoran goes all the way back to Mabika. Corcoran for Rodriguez. And again for Corcoran. Harivo. Shapiro Thompson cutting in field and outside of the boot ball for Williams. And then Loudoun clean it up defensively here. Of course, one of the other games that everyone's had circled on their calendars for some time, Louisville and Charleston in Kentucky. They're underway. Louisville have taken the lead inside of 3 minutes. Philip Goodrum has given Danny Cruz's side the early lead in that battle for the Players' Shield. Keep an eye on all of the big games tonight, and there's quite a few of them around the grounds in the USL Championship tonight.
Those two have really run away with it as the top two dogs in terms of the Players' Shield. The Western Conference right now is absolutely wild. So any game at this point in the season in the West is a massive one and could have, you know, a 3 to 6 point swing in any given direction. And then the East, the middle of the pack. They are, I mean, this Rhode Island team is, yeah, right above the playoff line, but they're also only, what, 6 points out of third, 6 points away from Loudoun?
Coming in tonight, it was 7 points, yeah. Not far off at all.
And then you look at the way that Hartford has been playing of late. We talked about what Dom Casciato is doing down there at Tampa Bay. It's not out of the realm of possibility that any of those teams stay out of it for long.
Mark Briggs has Birmingham playing a bit better as well. Can't forget about them. There's the update. Louisville 1, Charleston 0 over on CBS Sports Golazo Network. High Noon. It's the perfect drink for any occasion, including keeping track of the scores around the USL Championship.
Not to say that we're doing that at this very moment.
Very good to point that out. Shapiro Thompson frustrated as it's well defended by Cole Turner on this near side. Loudoun throw. That's just for the people at home, Arian, of course.
It is. I hope all of you guys tonight out there have at least 3 screens going with all the big games and your high noons within reaching distance.
Drink responsibly. We should add that probably at the end as well.
We're pretty bad.
We're trying our best. Here's Awua for Loudoun. Tried to slice it through Harivo's touch. Harivo's second touch. Haribo may have been fouled there. Referee plays advantage. Looped over the top here looking for Williams, but Learman is on the scene and allows for Rhode to come and get it. Velo. He's bundled over by Shapiro Thompson. No foul, says the referee. It's a Rhode Island throw. Ryan Martin's not thrilled with that. Flicked on by Williams to Fuson. Fuson's close control. He's double covered here and cannot pick out Shapiro Thompson. Falls kindly for Corcoran. Yao for Haribo. Shapiro Thompson and company. Again, Haribo decides to go all the way back to Yao and now Vegas. Oh, this is going to find J.J. Williams up the other end. Can Williams get there? He holds on to it. Williams holds up the play, waits for more numbers as he goes towards the byline here. And then Williams' pass is deflected and cleared by McCabe.
And you saw Maxi Rodriguez's reaction in that moment. As soon as J.J. Williams turned his back to goal, Maxi was there in that supporting angle. He wanted that ball to his feet because there were quite a few numbers for Rhode Island trying to make their way up the pitch on the far side. But I'll go back and point out that what we said about Loudoun and them thinking in the second half to have moments of sitting in more of a compact structure. You saw 3 or 4 players from Loudoun start to gain territory, start to press the back line of Rhode Island, and instead of the whole team stepping with them, it allowed for the defensive shape of Loudoun to get stretched, and Rhode Island, with the distribution ability of their back line, took massive advantage of it.
Oh, that's a mistake here. Nearly falls for Ryan. It was cleaned up initially. Skundrich for Abukura. Still Abukura. Finds sight of goal here. Oh, and he just misses it wide. Well, you give Abdelatif Abukura an inch, and he nearly takes a mile here for Loudoun. Not far off at all.
We said it at the onset. You get him the ball in and around the 18-yard box and magic happens. And the way that he is so tidy with the ball at his feet, maneuvers in and out of pressure, just looking for any type of window, shirt being tugged and all. And he finds it and nearly bends it into the side netting.
Velo. Tingy. Flaring it out to the far side. Cross takes a deflection. It's a missed kick from Ibarra. Abukura sees Haribo step in front of him in the nick of time. And then J.J. Williams comes back and helps Rhode Island clean things up.
And there are moments with Abukura, and we just saw it in that last sequence, how many defenders he attracts when he is on the ball. Poor giveaway.
McCabe for Velo. Abukura beaten to it by Haribo, who again is there to save Rhode Island's bacon.
And to finish that point, with the amount of defenders that Abukura can draw when he's on the ball, you have to think that there's someone open. If he can get his head up and try to find that open, that outlet player, perhaps he can find him in an isolated position.
So Ryan Martin is going to make a double change here. Archimedes Ordonez, and a debut for Omari Glasgow for Loudoun here tonight, formerly of the Chicago Fire organization in MLS, played mostly with the second side in MLS Next Pro, was also a full Guyana international as well. Santos and Ryan make way on the double swap.
In the 56th minute.
From the long Tingy throw, it comes up short, booted away by Rodriguez. Fuson on the chase, but Kwame Awuah sends it upfield. I did in passing see our colleague Chris Nurse earlier tonight, also, of course, a former Guyana international, Guyana captain. Said, you're going to see my guy tonight. He's going to play really well, Omari Glasgow.
I hope that we have not just jinxed him.
I brought that up because Omari Glasgow has already had so much experience at the international level. He's been turning heads there. And now we'll see if he can start turning heads in the USL Championship. I know Ryan Martin's excited to have him a part of his ranks as well.
Talented player.
And here he is, cutting in field. Abukura tried an audacious little flick. It ricochets back for McCabe. That's cut out by Ibarra. Nice turn here by J.J. Williams. Williams up there by himself. Oh, and he cuts past a couple defenders here, but it doesn't fall for Fuson. And Loudoun will clear it all the way back to Vegas, who does have to sweep this away, and does. But Loudoun do win the ball back. McCabe stepping in, Velo up ahead. This is Glasgow sliding it through here. Ordonez on the turn. Still Ordonez! Oh! Well, he was surrounded by Rhode Island defenders here, and the sub nearly fits it through.
And this starts with Loudoun's midfield, and they have some of the most creative playmakers. And Velo, he is one of the top-tier talent in terms of solving pressure in USL Championship, but this is just uncanny. This is just a willingness and never say die type of attitude. That's 5 Navy jerseys surrounding him, and he still finds a way to get the shot off. That's what you want out of a 9, I'd say.
Incredible effort from the substitute there. Another close call for Loudoun as we approach the hour mark. Well, at Maven's Deli, they have their corned beef on rye, their kugels as well. And at Maven's, they play to win. They've got the flavors that score every time. Abukura. Unorthodox, but it does the job to keep Loudoun moving in the right direction here. This is Omari Glasgow. Back for Skundrich. Learman for Turner. Feels like the game is on a knife edge here. Both teams have come so close. Awuwa back for Turner. Going to be a goal kick in the end, as Rhode Island, we're told, are getting a couple of changes ready, including a debut. Dwayne Atkinson, who was just brought in from Cavalier FC in Jamaica, where he won the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup title last season, scored both goals in the final against Cibao. He is coming in to replace Noah Fuson. And Jojea Quizera is on as well. He'll replace Aldair Sanchez. And there is the roar for Dwayne Atkinson in his first Rhode Island appearance. And Atkinson not just known for his exploits with Cavalier, but of course is a full Jamaican international as well. And the reason that win in the Caribbean Cup final was so significant was that it bought Cavalier a spot, figuratively of course, into the CONCACAF Champions Cup, where Cavalier played Inter Miami in Kingston in the knockout stages, and you know who was on the score sheet, Lionel Messi. You can play against Messi, you can play against anybody.
Absolutely. No, what an exciting talent this is for Rhode Island, and as we've said, chance creation. This simply put, that's where this Rhode Island side is at. If they can't get past this obstacle of chance creation, and then on top of that, the final action, they're gonna really have a long way into the playoffs. It's a good ball.
Quizera, nearly picking out Williams. Loudoun thought this was last off of Rhode Island. It's gonna be a corner for the hosts here after Turner's intervention.
This is a wonderful decision from Quizera. He sees the overlap, and then he sees Tingy take that cheat, right? Tingy goes to cover the overlap, and that opens up that passing channel. I'm not really sure what Loudoun is arguing about. It looks very clear that that was a corner.
Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner here on this far side. from the set piece, Mabika was close to it, and then on the doorstep, Faroux, was he taken out? It's nudged off the line! And the referee says it's a foul on the goal line here. Free kick for Loudoun. Rodriguez bundles into Faroux, who's still down here holding his head. What a chaotic sequence that was.
And in fairness, you pointed it out. I'm a little surprised the first interchange between Rodriguez and Faroux didn't get called with the way that we are protecting our goalkeepers now. Typically, any time that they have gone up to grab the ball and you are in their way, but that's actually very well done from our head referee to let that continue. But it was that moment, right, where Faroux is trying to come forward and make a play that Maxi Rodriguez impedes his action, impedes that forward step, and results in a foul.
That's a heck of a save, by the way, Faroux.
Absolutely athletic. My goodness. Getting boxed out and still manages to get a paw on it.
He's had a few save of the weeks in his time. You go, Faroux.
Well, he's been a really bright spot for this Loudoun side. Not only what he's been able to do in moments like that, but also the distribution at his feet has been pivotal for them in the attack.
Another close call for Rhode Island. Another wild sequence, and we'll revisit it here.
Something about the Chick-fil-A at Attleboro. They don't want that free chicken sandwich, I tell you that much. I think that's wonderfully done all the way around. Number one, from our referee crew to let that first action continue to develop. I think the no call there on Maxi Rodriguez and Faroux was the right call. And then to see it the second time, knowing that Faroux's trying to come out and make that save, make the call then, I think that's excellent stuff. Faroux, that is tremendous goalkeeping to keep your wits about you and still, regardless, foul, no foul, still make that save. And Maxi Rodriguez, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in those situations. A+ for everyone. Except for the fans who don't get the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Very true.
But can't have it all.
It still feels like it's going to happen at some point this year. We'll
probably when neither of us are on the call.
Yeah. By the way, Louisville have doubled their lead over Charleston in that battle for the Players' Shield at Lynn Family Stadium tonight. They're in the 23rd minute. Louisville lead by 2-0. Again, the reason that game is big is because if Louisville do win, they would have the tiebreaker down the stretch. As Mabika has to slide in there for Rhode Island. He clears it, but it goes out for a Loudoun corner as we're approaching the final 25 minutes of our game. There's the official scoreboard update. Again, if you want to have multiple monitors on with our game here and that game, you can fire up CBS Sports Golazo Network to keep an eye on all the games going around the grounds tonight. Florian Velo to deliver here for Loudoun United. And he fizzes it in there. Tingy, was he taken out there? Rodriguez eventually clears it. Tingy is still down. Couple of shouts from the Loudoun players for a possible penalty. Rhode Island end up getting the free kick, and Natalie Simon stops the free kick for the injured Loudoun player. It's Tingy still down, referee noting it's a possible head injury.
And really, the shouts belong to the sideline referee in this situation, right? He is going to have a much better line. You see exactly where Natalie Simon is going. You see the line she has. That's going to be on her assistant referee on that far sideline to be communicating with her in that moment.
The staff checks on Tingy here after he was upended by J.J. Williams. Spraying some of the turf, the tire tracks off of him as well. I've always said this, water bottles have more than one use.
They do, they do indeed.
It gives us time to tell you that if you have a game plan to pay for college, that's great, but if you don't, check in with RISLA. local expert on preparing, planning, and paying for college. Visit risla.com to find out more today. And Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, it's turning into quite the nail-biter here. Centerville Bank Stadium, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, both teams need the points desperately in the Eastern Conference playoff chase in the USL Championship. As that ball slides through. Tanguy not quite ready for it, but Quizera couldn't take advantage on the back end. Whether you're headed to work, school, or game day, RIPTA gets you there. Statewide service, easy trip planning. Transit's never been simpler. RIPTA.com is the place to go today to plan your ride. Harivo ends up giving the ball away here, and it's touched over the top, looking for Kwame Awua, who's onto the chase here. And it's sent out of play by Shapiro Thompson, who catches up to him in the nick of time.
What a versatile piece Shapiro Thompson has ended up being for this Rhode Island side. We've seen him play just about all over the pitch, and we've seen him be very fruitful on both sides of the ball. Right now, in this match particularly, doing a lot of defensive effort, doing it well.
Awua clipping the ball across. Rhode Island had it covered. McCabe keeps it alive. Skundrich juggling it. It's still up for grabs here. Ordonez and Yao and Vegas eventually gets on top of it and outlets to the far side. Rodriguez for Atkinson. Dwayne Atkinson cutting in field here. Sliding it through for J.J. Williams. Can he finish? Oh, he blazes it over. Brilliant build-up play from the Jamaican Atkinson there. But Williams could not hit the target, albeit with the angle against him.
I like the relationships I'm starting to see forming between Rodriguez and Atkinson. He does ever so well to stop the run and try to find that central seam, and it was that first touch from J.J. Williams that actually took him outside the frame of goal. And in that moment, that's a really tough angle. Goalkeeper Faru had it covered the entire way. And while it seems like your eyes get big and you feel like you're near the goal and you have to take a shot in that moment, the right decision for J.J. likely was to stop that play, hold it back up, try to get faced up, and allow the runs to develop a little bit deeper inside the 6.
Rhode Island get the foul. They take the free kick quickly. Atkinson to Quizera. Mabika and Quizera. Atkinson showing you his close control ability there. He's brought down. That's a foul, a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for Drew Skundrich. That's a little taste for some that don't follow the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup of what Dwayne Atkinson can do.
And watch the touch immediately after he gets past Skundrich. That little inside touch right across Skundrich's body. That is ultimately what allowed this all to happen, because he takes Skundrich completely out of the play. He forces that foul, welcomes that contact. And you see just how quick that all was. That is exactly what this Rhode Island side needs. We talked about how in 2024, they were this power offense kind of team. They like to beat you up. They like to go fast. They lost a little bit of that with their need to have a bit more possession in 2025, but they've added some key pieces that are going to have tempo going forward. They're going to have creativity going forward. But stop me if you've heard it before. It all comes down to the final action, and that's really the calling card for Rhode Island at this point.
Oh, Ryan Martin pacing a bit here. It's getting towards that time in the game, crunch time. Points are still right there to be had. As we have another update from the Louisville-Charleston game, Jansen Wilson has scored his second goal of the game. He scored the second Louisville goal. And Louisville, inside of 30 minutes, are 3-0 up in the battle for the Players' Shield. The Battery in big, big trouble over on CBS Sports Golazo. Here is Kwame Awua. Clipping that forward for Loudoun. It takes a deflection. It falls for a chance. Abukura took a big swing at it, but missed the target completely.
Well, this just came out of nowhere, but that's what Abukura can do. He always tends to find himself in promising positions, and it's just that little bit of movement that separates him from Mabika. Soars that one way high. That was going to be a tough save for Koke Vegas had he gotten that on frame.
That's sent forward for Atkinson, who finds Amos Shapiro-Thompson. Atkinson continues his run on the link-up here, and then nearly fed it back through. Awuah steps in. Shapiro-Thompson never gives up on the play. Thought that Rhode Island, from their perspective, had the throw. It goes Loudoun's way. Here's Florian Velo, caught up to on this near side by Ibarra. It stays with the visitors here, just in front of Cano Smith, who is preparing Clay Holstead as we speak to come on. We'll get to that at the next stoppage. This is Omari Glasgow. Quick feet. He does go down. Referee allows play to continue. And Jojea Quizera has some space to run into here for Rhode Island. Tingy is able to catch up to him. It's slowed down here for Maxi Rodriguez. Yao from Mabika. Yao clips it, looking for J.J. Williams, who holds it up nicely. Rodriguez for Quizera. Quizera going at Tingy here to the byline. His cross is deflected in the air. Williams couldn't get there. Farouk punches it down. Dwayne Atkinson blocked by Florian Velo. Yao's hustle to step back in. Ordonez a clever take, but he's cut out by Shapiro-Thompson, who resets for Rhode Island.
Excellently done from Rhode Island to collect that second phase of play, not allow the possession to fall back on Loudoun's side.
Near side Harivo. Still Harivo, keeps on going. Plays an early ball in, looking for Williams. Oh. Out for a goal kick, and now Rhode Island can't believe the decision. They thought it was last off of Loudoun. It's going to be a goal kick in the end.
Quizera has been lights out since he's come onto the pitch. He's doing what he does best, and it's getting to the end line and then getting a service across. And well done from Loudoun to keep their defensive pressure, keep pressure on the ball. And that's actually surprised Harivo that he had this much space to work with. And I like the decision. Don't try to combine any more than you already have. The numbers are in the 18-yard box. Send a service in, see what happens.
Holstead in for Amos Shapiro-Thompson as Quizera tries to fight off Tingy here. Referee notices the foul and brings it back for a Rhode Island free kick, and there's going to be a yellow card on top of that. Quizera, I think, wanted advantage to be played there. Referee brings it back. Tingy gets booked for holding Quizera back. And Rhode Island have a set piece in a pretty good spot. It is going to be taken rather quickly here. Atkinson gets his head to it. Oh, Holstead let it fly. It was blocked away. On the follow-up, it's Atkinson, also blocked. And then Loudoun still can't clear it. Third try for Rhode Island. Quizera. Atkinson back for Holstead. And Rodriguez switches it over for Harivo on the near side, who's hounded by Velo and forced to go back over the halfway line back to Vegas.
But if you're Ryan Martin, if you're Loudoun, you've got to gain some type of confidence from the defensive performance that your guys are putting up right now. getting in way of everything, constantly keeping pressure on the ball. Bending, yes, absolutely, but not breaking. And that's got to give you some confidence going forward.
Abukura over the top, looking for Glasgow after Loudoun played through a really tight space there. Haymakers back and forth as we get down to the final 10 minutes. Some Loudoun pressure here, played back to the edge of the area, helped along for Harivo, who loses out to Velo. This is Abukura. Abukura switches it over to the far side. Omari Glasgow on debut! Oh, rattles the frame! And Abukura couldn't follow up. What a strike! And the Guyana international is so unlucky there. Rhode Island not out of the woods yet. Glasgow again. Decides to play it all the way back. This has turned into a 12-round knockdown drag-out bout here in the Eastern Conference.
What a treat for us, the two debuts this evening.
Both have been excellent. Harivo loses out. Kwame Awua nearly dispossessed by Williams. He gets a second try at it here. Velo just about threads the needle for Skundrich. Rodriguez forces it back. And it's feathered out to the far side where Loudoun can bring it forward. Cross into the middle, blocked by Mabika. It's Tommy McCabe, who certainly has a wonderful right boot, but this time skies it off target.
We spoke about the debuts, and does do it justice what is the expansive shape that they've had in the attack. Much better.
Awua doesn't get there. Fought off by Clay Holstead. Vegas gets there first.
Oftentimes in that first half, it felt like they were trying to play through this compact, very narrow structure. In the second half, it's been much more intentional to spread the shape, get high, get wide, and it's been fruitful for them.
More Loudoun pressure here. Rhode Island just get it upfield. What a touch that was by Rodriguez, but then his second touch gives it away to Velo, who plays it in behind. Quizera gets there. Ibarra follows up. Glasgow. Abukura lays it off here. Helped along for Velo. This is McCabe. Velo again. Loudoun probing here. Awua. Time and space for McCabe to assess the scene. Awua on the near side. Velo, and then a touchdown by Holst. Awua from the throw. Not much to work with. Plays it short for Glasgow, who's forced to go all the way back to Turner. Atkinson's pressure here. It's just gotten away there by Learman. This is Skundrich. McCabe does another full reset back to Learman. I want to know the secret to businesses that last. It's your people. Tap into your people power with Insperity. Trailblazers in HR, because how you HR matters. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew. It's been a good one. Certainly not your average 0-0, that's for sure. Chances galore, particularly here in the second half. It's still a stalemate between two teams that desperately need the points right now in the USL Championship playoff chase. The first times these two teams met, the first two meetings between Rhode Island and Loudoun, they were both 0-0, so are we on our way to a third one in the early days, early years of this fixture's history? It does feel like, though, that there's a goal coming. Just about who's going to score it. That's going to be a Rhode Island throw on the near side. Here's a Rhode Island sub. Maxi Rodriguez out. Albert Dequa on.
Entering the matches, number 10, Albert Chico Dequa in the 82nd minute.
Well, could Dequa, as he has many times before in his career, be a match winner? Rhode Island are looking for him. right down the heart of the Loudoun defense here, and Tikwa hits the deck as Hugo Faru resets for the visitors.
This is a very realistic look at what it could be if they find a way to get Albert Dikwa and J.J. Williams on the pitch at the same time. Dwayne Atkinson right underneath him, and two holding midfielders in Ibarra and Corcoran.
A good step by Karifa Yao. Atkinson tried to follow up. Here comes the shot. Ends up being blazed wide of the target. It's going to be a goal kick. Looking for the perfect venue to host your group event. Look no further than here at Centerville Bank Stadium, offering a variety of unique spaces to elevate your experience. Again, we're keeping an eye on scores from around the grounds at the moment. And Louisville leading 3-0 over Charleston. Hartford leading 2-0 at Birmingham. That's a big result. If these results were to hold, Hartford would jump over Rhode Island into the 7th spot. Detroit clinging to a 1-0 lead against 10-man Indy as we speak. 0-0 between Miami and El Paso. If Miami could win that game, a lot would change in the East playoff race as well. Pittsburgh were trailing earlier. They've come back to tie it against Orange County at Highmark, 1-1 there with 10 minutes to go. North Carolina holding on to a 2-1 lead over Tampa Bay. Early on 0-0, Tulsa, New Mexico. Those are all the live games going on. The only full-time game, Lexington beating Phoenix by 2-0 earlier tonight. We're locked in at a stalemate here. Both teams at the moment ruining some missed opportunities as this game has continued on, but there's still a chance for some late glory, some late drama. Loudoun back on the front foot, but Mabika steps in for Rhode Island. Quizera there to help as well. And Mabika and Rhode Island running out of room here on this far side. Quizera there to help and tries to shovel it forward, but Omari Glasgow picks it off. McCabe for Velo. Kwame Awua. McCabe for Glasgow. Ordonez. And Quizera steps in just in time for Rhode Island. Tries to feed it through for Dikwa. Cut out by Turner. And McCabe has it with 5 minutes of normal time left. Atkinson will get it away. Abdelatif Abukura trying to battle past Holstead. Got past a swing from Atkinson. Abukura lays it off and then gets it back. Holstead holds him up. And that's going to be a Loudoun free kick as Holstead would not let Abukura go after his initial pass.
You have to argue that the distance here is a bit too much for a quality strike against a quality goalkeeper in Coque Vegas. So you're going to be looking at the cluster of numbers at the back side of the 18-yard box.
Just under 4 minutes plus stoppage time left. Abdelatif Abukura to deliver. Flipped right down the heart of the 18-yard box. Headed over the top and out for a Loudoun corner. Dikwa with the defensive intervention.
And that's a must because there was a lurking Cole Turner for Loudoun at the back post. J.J. Williams was split in between himself and Giannis Learman. Well done by Albert Dikwa.
Velo will deliver the service. He pins it in there. Rhode Island get the header away, and they do clear it back over the halfway line. And the referee has blown it dead here. It'll come all the way back for a Rhode Island free kick, it appears. Again, if results hold as they are, Rhode Island would stay in 8th, but they'd be jumped by Hartford, who also do have a couple of games in hand on Rhode Island as well. Loudoun would actually drop to 4th if this result holds. As Dequa's ball into the middle is headed clear, not definitively clear. Corcoran recycles it onto this near side for Dequa. And Dequa's ball comes in, and Faroux makes a comfortable catch.
Let's call a spade a spade. Rhode Island's upcoming schedule is not easy in the slightest. This is truly a 3 points that they need here at home before they, as you mentioned, USL Cup in the quarterfinal, but in the next 3 matches, they've got to face the top 2. Or the next 4 matches, they got to face the top 2 in the East, right? So they're going to have Hartford Athletic, then they're going to have Charleston Battery, then Lou City, then Indy 11, which is never a walk in the park, and a Miami FC side who's making you earn points this year. And then, oh yeah, by the way, El Paso Locomotive, who can score with the best of them.
Of course, a couple of those teams have already beaten Rhode Island this season.
The reason you really want points here, yes, it's at home, but also you've had the better and the more quality opportunities. You've had some really good defensive moments, and you've had some solid moments in transition, particularly in this second half. And while there have been times where Loudoun has done well to find and solve pressure for themselves, you really have been on the front foot, and you want something to show for it.
Pressure here for Loudoun, but they do get it over the top, and Kwame Awuwa is just there ahead of Holstead and tried an early cross, maybe too early. Cut out by Karifa Yao. This is Harivo. If you approach second half stoppage time here, he plays it ahead for Dequa, who was not onside. And that allows Loudoun to regain possession. Well, that could have really opened up for Rhode Island if Dequa had timed up his run. Fourth officials gearing up to tell us how much stoppage time there's going to be. 4 added minutes remaining here in Pawtucket. Still time for a late twist of fate. Ibarra brought down Rhode Island free kick. Taken quickly for Harivo. Near side, Holstead. Back for Yao. Atkinson from Mabika. Mabika dribbles forward and loses out to Skundrich. Velo. Near side, Abukura. Abukura eventually stopped by the combination of Harivo and Holstead out for a throw. Miscued touch by Velo. Still 3 minutes left for someone to go out and win the game here. Harivo up ahead. Dequa and Williams holding it up here. Holstead joins in, as does Ibarra, who looks to switch it to Quizera, and it comes up short. Ibarra tries to win it back, but Glasgow skips past him. Omari Glasgow leads Loudoun forward here. Florian Velo. Just behind Abukura. Here's Awuwa. Trying to shovel it through. Harivo is there and clears it upfield. Looking for Williams. It's last off of Rhode Island. It's a Loudoun throw, and again, Rhode Island cannot believe the decision, but J.J. Williams did throw the ball away there, and he's going to be booked for that. Any of that kind, I should say, of delaying of a restart now is almost an automatic yellow.
She has no choice in that moment. That's the proper call. And look, I want to say one thing before we get to the end of this game. If you're a Loudoun fan, depth, roster depth is something you've been questioning. But with Omari Glasgow, I think Ryan Martin has gotten a key piece in that attacking roster depth. It's really going to help them down the stretch.
Glasgow to win it! Oh! Punched away by Vegas. Both of the debutantes tonight have just been top class, and that's out for a Loudoun throw.
Look at the heat coming off his foot with this strike. All the time, all the space, and was massively bending. Koke Vegas almost overplayed it in that moment. Has to punch it away, can't even catch it cleanly.
We're into the final minute of a minimum of 4 added on here. Tangy thought about going long, gets it back here. His cross into the middle, headed away by Williams. Atkinson trying to track it down. Awua gets there first. Sent back in by Abukura. Ordonez couldn't get it away. Ended up being touched away. McCabe trying to lay it off. Glasgow keeps it alive. Played onto this near side for McCabe. Final seconds here. And McCabe's ball goes over everybody's head and goes out for a goal kick. And do Rhode Island even have enough time to get this into the other half? They won't even have enough time to take the goal kick. And for the third time in this fixture's history, it ends 0-0 between Rhode Island and Loudoun, a point apiece after a heavyweight bout here in Pawtucket. Both teams throwing haymakers down the stretch. Neither could score the winning goal in the end. Rhode Island do get a clean sheet. Scandinavian Building Services keeps RIFC's home Centerville Bank Stadium clean. Rhode Island can hang their hat on that. Their defensive unit stands tall again. But once again, missed opportunities come back to bite, not just Rhode Island here, but Loudoun as well.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I actually applaud Ryan Martin for the tactical changes he made in the second half. In the attack going forward, it was much more expansive, and they created a lot of positive momentum from that. But Rhode Island, it's more of the same, right? They're not out of it. They're never out of the game, but they can't quite finish them either, and that's going to have to be something as they drop to 8th in the standings that they look to improve.
Finishes honors even in the end. We'll wrap it up after the break.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
Creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Our final score is brought to you by the physical therapy partner of RIFC, highbarhealth.com. Today is where you begin your journey to feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. 0-0, the final score here. Points shared between Rhode Island and Loudoun as we go into the full-time highlight. Sean and Marion, our entire crew here with you. We begin with Rhode Island on the front foot with J.J. Williams.
And one thing it is good to see is a healthy J.J. Williams and him getting his full minutes with this squad. He is a game changer for them, and we've seen that from the minute that this match started to the 94th minute when this match ended. And there were moments for Loudoun that were very promising in both the first half and the second half. Often in the first half, it felt like they were consistent going down the right-hand side, just looking to find central spaces vacated by the Rhode Island defense. But as we take a look at our energy play of the game, not only did we mention JJ at the onset and mention his ability to get shots off, but what I loved about this play is his ability to act as an outlet. Not only did he relieve pressure for his back line, he made something out of almost absolutely nothing. It's a wonderful play from the defender in Loudoun, but it's even better from J.J. Williams to earn a corner kick out of that one.
Jump ahead to the 37th minute. This is our save of the game, brought to you by Centerville Bank, Rhode Island, doing the job defensively here.
Koke Vegas is back healthy as well, and not only is he doing everything that he normally does between the pipes, but his back line in front of him is committing to that as well. That's Hugo Bacharach trying to do anything he can to force this clean sheet to happen for Rhode Island, and ultimately it would end up being that way. In the 45th minute, a wonderful service into the back post, and that man that we just mentioned doing that work on the defensive side of the ball, he's getting involved in the attack as well. Hugo Bacharach, perhaps the best look in the first 45 minutes for Rhode Island. So we're going to jump all the way to the 77th minute. We mentioned tactical changes for Loudoun, but there were also more promising moments for Rhode Island in the second. That heat of a strike from Clay Holstad, it gets deflected not once, but twice. That was from Dwayne Atkinson, who had a wonderful debut and is going to be a key point for this Rhode Island team going forward. But it was back and forth, Sean, cat and mouse. And when Rhode Island struck, it was only minutes before Loudoun struck again. And you want to talk about a debut for the Rhode Island side. What about the debut for this Loudoun man, Amari Glasgow? He is going to be one to watch for sure.
We talked about a back and forth match. There was 26 total shots between the two, although I must say, just 5 on target, and only one of those for Loudoun.
And that's the key, right? When we talk about chance creation, we're not just talking about half-hearted chances. We're talking about efficiency in your attacking 18-yard box, giving your strikers like J.J. Williams, Albert Dikwa, Zach Ryan on the Loudoun side something to work with, and neither team did that final action well enough today.
Feels a little bit like a missed opportunity for both teams at the end of this one. Rhode Island for now stay in 8th, but they could have jumped up a couple of spots if they had found the win. For Loudoun, it's now 9 games in all competitions without a win as the chase to the playoffs continues to heat up in the Eastern Conference. For Marion Crowder and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Pawtucket, an entertaining 0-0 as the points are shared in Rhode Island tonight.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.